Alright, so today we're going to talk about the time my high school basically turned into an airport. And I don't just mean they were flying idiots. No, I mean they installed these metal detectors that threw fits whenever you walked through them wrong. And they also started treated hall passes like government issued travel documents. Heck, they even somehow invented what I can only describe as Phone Team 6. Look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you whether any of that was necessary, because that's way above my pay grade even after all these paintings are gone. But what I can tell you is that it made for a very interesting senior year. So anyways, picture this. First day of school, metal detectors going off left and right, lines out the wazoo. Everyone's just trying to get inside before the bell rings. It looked remarkably similar to that one scene in the Captain Underpants movie. And it's not like these people had tungsten cubes on them in protest or anything. No, these detectors are just extremely picky, man. You couldn't just walk through them. You had to approach them with confidence, you see. And even if you were perfectly centered, it might still go off on you. But I mean, even then, the metal detectors cannot save you from the people that are running them. So there was this one day that I was trying to get to class on time, you know? And I was carrying this 6-foot aluminum pole. Like something that you would clearly see would set off the detectors. So I walk up to security holding what was very obviously a giant metal stick. They have me hand over my laptop and my almond tin, but not a single one of them say anything about the pole. I asked if they wanted it, they didn't want the pole. So they wave me through, and it goes off. So now they're confused. How could this have possibly happened if I wasn't carrying a weapon of mass destruction in my backpack? So they pull me aside to search every nook and cranny of my bag. Twice. And they find absolutely nothing. At that point, I was just standing there, leaning against the world's least subtle suspect item, while two grown adults try to solve the mystery of why the metal detector might be detecting metal. And then finally, they call over a third guy who takes one good look at me, points at the pole, and goes, "He didn't go through with that, did he?" I was 12 minutes late to physics that day. And I thought that was going to be the dumbest security interaction I'd have that day. But I was dead wrong. Because later that morning, I made another fatal mistake. I had to use the bathroom. The bathrooms in the mods, infinitely better than the ones in the main building. The bathrooms in the mods have soap dispensers, they have paper towel dispensers, they're not infested with random dudes. So I decided to head out there during lunch. But apparently in the 4 minutes between me leaving the building and returning, my school had hired this nightclub bouncer. And this guy is just standing at the door, stopping students and demanding passes before letting them back in, as if he was some kind of TSA agent. The second I approached the guy, he hit me with the classic, "Where are you supposed to be?" And part of me wanted to answer, "Inside," but another part of me wanted to graduate. So instead, I calmly explained to him that I'd just gone to the bathroom. In fact, he watched me walk out the door of the mods, but he didn't like that answer. So he made me take a walk of shame halfway around the entire building just to get back to the front entrance where I had to go through the metal detectors a second time. Thankfully, though, this time I wasn't carrying a giant metal stick. But in case these metal detectors and these bathroom bouncers weren't enough, my school eventually decided to declare war on phones. Not phony use, no, phones. And I'm not exaggerating when I say declare war either. Multiple times a day, administrators would sweep through bathrooms looking for students on their phones. And these weren't casual walkthroughs either. These people moved with purpose. They went in, came out a minute later, and waved multiple magical rectangles over their heads like they just won the lottery. So naturally, I started referring to them as Phone Team 6 because, well, you know. And they even set up an entire phone jail in the main office, complete with cell doors and whatnot. So if they caught you with your phone, they didn't just give you a verbal warning, they literally arrested it. They'd take your phone, and then in place of it, they'd give you a ticket that corresponds to the cell they'll put your phone in. And only at the end of the day could you go down to the main office and retrieve it. So yeah, throughout my senior year, my school had somehow developed a security strategy that treated a metal pole, person trying to use the bathroom, and a teenager checking their phone like active threats to national security. When you put all those things together, everyday school life became way more complicated than it needed to be.